Welcome, everybody. As many of you have probably heard, there are two states, Colorado and Maine, that have decided that because Donald Trump violated Section 3 of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution and was involved in or incited an insurrection, he's not eligible to hold public office. As a result, those two states have moved to remove Donald Trump from the Republican primary ballot. Those decisions are now being contested in court. It's expected to get all the way up to the Supreme Court. In the midst of this, a number of different defenders of Trump from both states, Colorado Republicans and Maine Republicans, have come forward to say this was wrong. Donald Trump should be allowed on the ballot. And unfortunately for them, when they are asked why, they can't really articulate an explanation. The first example of this, and this is a doozy, I'm going to play a video clip for you from CNN. This was the chair of Maine's Republican Party. He's on the right, CNN anchor on the left. This guy, Joel Stetkis, is on the right. He was asked 7 times, why was it the wrong decision to remove Donald Trump from the ballot in Maine? What was it about the decision made by the Maine Secretary of State that makes this the incorrect decision? And the guy can't spit out anything other than it was just wrong. It was wrong. Take a look at this. This is pretty painful to see, but it is emblematic of the total absence, the completely vapid nature of the support of Trump that is happening in light of and in the context of unconstitutional actions, allegedly criminal actions, and more. This is the caliber of the defenses that Trump is getting. I don't know. It was just the wrong thing to do.
He's, of course, talking about the Secretary of State's decision to remove Donald Trump from the ballot. What is your response?
Well, Boris, I think the simplest way we can put this really is, we've got an unelected bureaucrat who likes to pretend that she's a lawyer, and she's literally taking away the voters' choices in Maine.
All right. Now, so first explanation is, well, she's unelected and she's taking away voters' choices. This is the way that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment works. It's not about taking away. It's you're not eligible if you've engaged in certain actions.
Here in Maine and across the country, regardless of, whether they like Donald Trump or not, Bellows is wrong on so many levels, and it's getting to the point of really being embarrassing.
Okay, right? It's just wrong. It's wrong.
But if the state law, like the state constitution, makes it so that if someone has a complaint about a candidate, they take it up with the Secretary of State, who then is the arbiter, how could she be in the wrong for making a decision based on what was presented to her in that hearing?
Well, her decision process was just wrong.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it was just wrong. Why don't you understand this?
She's there to support Maine's Maine voting rights, and she's doing exactly the opposite. We're going to fight this thing to the highest extent that we need to, and what she's doing is just flat out wrong.
There it is again. But what is it about this CNN audience that just won't accept that it was wrong?
Why would you say that? Do you object to Donald Trump's participation on January 6th? Do you think that Article 5 of the 14th Amendment, or rather Article 3 of the 14th Amendment, doesn't include the presidency? Like, what's your main argument against her decision?
Yeah, give us a factual basis, please.
Oh, this has so much more to do with the suppression of the vote as opposed to Donald Trump. We would oppose this decision regardless of,
I'm sure,
what Republican she decided that she was going to arbitrarily decide Maine voters aren't going to be allowed to vote.
You're saying, Joel, you're saying that it's arbitrary, but what is it about her decision? What is it about her argument legally that you're opposed to?
We're just opposed to her taking away the rights of the voters.
It's getting awkward. Okay, it's starting to get where I'm like, does this guy have any business even participating in this segment?
Be able to choose the leader that they want to vote for or not.
But if there's a part of the Constitution that says that if someone is an insurrectionist, a state can intervene to remove them from a ballot, and she is designated to make that decision according to Maine's state constitution, then isn't it up to her?
Her reasoning behind her decision is completely wrong.
I've not gone back to the beginning of the video. It's amazing. Okay, so Maine's law says the Secretary of State gets to decide this. Here's what's in the Constitution. Do you disagree with this being something she's allowed to do? Do you believe that the president isn't subject to the 14th Amendment? Do you think the legal argument is wrong? Boris, it's just wrong. Why won't you let me give that as my final answer?
So what is the reasoning that you object to?
No matter how you ask the question, her decision is completely wrong. There are
Joel, but give us the details. Why is
attorneys,
it wrong? Why is it wrong?
So Boris, this is the thing, right? There are attorneys and judges, Democrats and Republicans across this country that have said that she's wrong.
Other people. Boris, it's not just I who am here saying that this is wrong with no explanation. There are other people who also say this is wrong with no explanation. I won't subject you to the last 2 minutes of it. It's basically the same thing. This epitomizes what is happening right now in so many different levels with this Republican Party and specifically with Donald Trump. We can engage on the facts if both sides are willing to do it. And then if we did, we might get to, hey, you know what? The Maine Secretary of State didn't do anything wrong. Or here is the legal argument for why the Maine Secretary of State acted incorrectly. But it's just wrong is not going to fly, I hope, with sensible people. Really embarrassing stuff. Let's now look at something that was not so embarrassing, but was actually pretty interesting to see. Taking care of your health isn't always easy, but it really should be simple. That's why for years now, I've been drinking AG1 every day. It's just 1 scoop mixed with water once a day, and it gives me the foundational nutritional elements I want for the whole day. Each serving of AG1 gives me what I want in terms of vitamins, minerals, and more. It's just a simple habit. I know that with AG1, I'm getting high quality nutrition. The ingredients are sourced for nutrient density and absorption. If you want to take ownership of your health, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2, plus 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/Pacman. The link is down below.